Hey Crafty friends, it's Courtney Brickner, the CB behind the Crafty Brick. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited you're here today because I wanted to share with you, I don't know if you saw the other day, the Crafty challenge that I did with Crafting with Delonda, and we made this shirt. And if you saw, then you probably noticed that I lost that challenge. Unfortunately, because Delonda did this entire design on 2 mats, and she cut multiple colors on 1 mat. I used my Juliet machine and I was cutting 1 color individually, and it just slowed the entire process down. So it didn't work out that well for me, unfortunately, but it got me thinking that I don't use a mat very often when I'm using Juliet, because you don't have to. If you're working with some type of material that has a backing, which I'm usually working with, I just don't use a mat. So it didn't even cross my mind to use multiple colors on 1 mat, which is crazy. I mean, I should have come to win. I didn't even bring a weeding tool. Obviously, I was not mentally prepared that day. But anyway, that's beside the point. Today, what I want to do is show you how to use Juliet and do multiple colors on 1 mat. So if you end up being in a crafty challenge and you need to do this really quickly, then you'll be prepared. So how about we jump into the computer and I will show you what I know.
Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is go into Leonardo Design Studio, and I already have the file that I want to use. So I'm going to go up here to File, and then I'm going to click down on Import File. And then, let's see, we're going to find the file. It's not in the drive, it's in Silhouette. I designed it in Silhouette, so here it is. So then I bring that in, import that file into Leonardo Design Studio, and then you'll see we've got print and cut, cut only, and editable artwork, but we've got all the colors here on 1 mat. We're going to go ahead and click cut only because we don't really have anything we need to edit, and click next, and then we'll click apply, and then it will go onto our mat. Unfortunately, I can't cut multiple colors when they're all so close together. I need them a little bit spaced apart, so I need to make some changes. So I'm going to go down here to these 2 squares, the arrange, and I'm going to click the 2 squares that are on top of each other and click them, and then that's going to allow me to separate all of the layers so that I can move them individually and they're not grouped together. So now they're ungrouped. I'm going to click the red zigzags first. We're going to move those up here, and then we'll go with the orange, and let's move those over. My goal is to try to get all of them placed on the mat so that when I go and place my strips of different colors, then they're going to cut easily and they'll be in the right spot. So let's move all of these out of the way so that I have a little bit more space to work with. Let's get these. We will move them over here to the side, and then we can bring these greens over. And actually, let's move these as well because they're going to be in my way for the other zigzags. So I'm just going to move those off the mat because I'm not dealing with those right at the moment. Then we'll take our blue and our purple and move them over here. And then I want to make sure that I line them up so that they're every 2 inches because I'm cutting 2-inch strips. So I'm using the ruler over on the side here to look at. I'm just kind of eyeballing to see where it is and move them all onto the mat where they should be. Now we'll go over here and we're going to move these pieces because I actually want to get the black, white, and all of the rainbow colors all onto 1 mat. So we'll move this over onto the mat so that the machine will recognize it, because if it's sitting off of the mat, it will not cut it. So we need to make sure that it's within the cut lines on the mat. I was trying to separate this. I didn't. Okay, I want that offset to be separated. So there we go. So I'm going to have the white parts on the top and then all the black parts on the bottom. And let's go down here to arrange. We'll ungroup this. Let's get the offset here. Actually, I'm going to move it off to the side because I want both the black words at the bottom so that I can just put 1 piece of vinyl there, and then I want the white offsets to be at the top so then I can have 1 piece of vinyl there. It's kind of hard to see those white spots, so let's go over here and click dark BG and it changes it to a dark background, and it makes it much easier to see those white parts on your mat. So it's nice that you can switch between a light background and a dark background. That's a really cool feature that I like. Another really cool feature is that you can go up here to the rulers at the top and then on the side, and if you click on the end of the ruler, you can drag it down onto your mat. You can keep it at the top if you'd like, or you can bring it down onto the mat. We'll bring this side one, move that over so you can keep it on the side right there. But it's nice because you can bring them all the way down onto your mat so you can see exactly where the materials are. So I know that I can line them up correctly and I can get the exact size vinyl that I need. So I see that this one's a little farther over than I was hoping it would be and kind of infringing on the space of the black letters. So I'm just going to move all those over, and I'm going to move my ruler up just a little bit so I can make sure that I'm seeing exactly what I need to see to get them in the right spot. So I'm kind of overlapping the zigzags, but it's fine for them to cut like that, and it just makes it a little bit easier to line up the vinyl on my mat when I go to cut it with Juliet. So I'm just using the rulers to help guide me and figure out where the placement should be for all of the zigzags. I want them to all be like at the 2-inch mark, so I'm making sure that they're at like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and that they don't kind of bleed over into any of the lines, because I set it up before without using the rulers and that just didn't work out really well, because some of the tips were getting cut off and some of the ends were getting cut off because I didn't have it lined up correctly. So I think having the rulers actually down on the mat really helps prevent some of the issues that you might have when cutting out multiple colors. So we'll move everything around just to make sure that all the lines are just where we want them. And then when we get everything set up, we're ready to send it to Juliet to cut. And we'll go up, let's see, we go up here to the top to send design, and then we'll see that this is don't separate by color. That's clicked because I've been working with this, but that's not what's automatically there. But let me unclick it so I can show you what it looks like if it's not clicked. So we unclick that and we click down here, send. You'll see that all of the mats are separated by color. That's not what we want, because that's not the most efficient way to cut this project. So let's go back to our design and we'll send the design, and we're going to click don't separate by color. Then we click send, and then you'll see that all of the items are on one mat. But it's kind of hard to see everything, so let's go back to our design and change our mat to the light background, and then go back and click send, and now we can actually see where everything is. And you can actually move the rulers here as well when you're in the cut screen. So you can move them wherever you would like. That makes it easy. And sometimes you might even see that you might need to make just a couple changes to some of the items, and you'll see that they're just not lined up where they need to be, but you can still go ahead and change them even when you're in the cut screen, because you'll see that they highlight green, and you can still move them right here. So you can make some last minute edits if you didn't do completely accurate placement on the previous screen. And if you're using HTV, don't forget to click the mirror button over here on the right, because it's going to flip your design. So it's going to change how you would set everything up on the mat before you go to cut. When you've done that, click send to cutter, and then we're ready to go, and we'll go over to Juliet. So for this step, I'm just cutting 2-inch strips of all of the colors that I need so that I can set them up on the mat. Then I take all of my strips and I place them on the mat just how I set it up in the computer screen. And I'm going to place every 2 inches. They're going to all be very close together, but I know since I set it up on the machine in Leonardo Design Studio that they're all going to be in the right spot. And then I also know that I need to have this side cut, so it's at 4 inches there. So I cut off all of the colorful strips, and then I added the white and the black, and then I'm ready to send it to the machine to cut. Let's see how my bestie does with this project. Once everything is cut, I can go ahead and weed all of the pieces, and so far it's looking so good.
So I've weeded it all. Oh, it's upside down. I didn't weed all the inside parts because I was just trying to see, could I get it to cut correctly, and everything cut perfectly. So it was really helpful having the rulers that I could move on the mat at the top and the bottom so that I could get the placement exactly right with all of my strips of different colors. But now, if y'all see me on the streets and it's a crafty challenge and we need to have different colors, I will be prepared. So I'm very excited about that. This was actually what I used to make at Crafty Tuesday when I did the koozies. Actually, here's the koozie right here. It turned out so cute. So I used these strips of HTV to put on the koozie. And then I did my words. It says, sip, sip, hooray, I don't have to work today. So I made that the other day on Crafty Tuesday. If you want to check out that video, I'll put that right up there and you can see it. And I'm very excited. I can cut multiple colors on one mat with my bestie Juliet here. And it is easier than I thought now that I can move the rulers. So that is a very nice update that they made to the software a little while back, and I'm very happy that it works out. So thank you so much for watching. I know your time is valuable and I appreciate you spending some of it here with me today. I hope that you learned something new, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so that you don't miss anything crafty, because I'm here every week talking about something DIY or crafty. I never know, it just depends on what I'm feeling for that week, but I'm here every week, so I hope you'll join me next week. And until then, stay crafty.